It's the Lex Express. I'm Lex Gopnik for Fear the Beard. With the lockouts of the NFL and NBA in full effect, sports junkies, you guys are going to have some trouble getting your fixes this fall. There's only one pro sports league that seems to have their collective shit together, and that's the National Hockey League. So let me get you up to speed on what your San Jose Sharks have been up to this offseason. We all remember the Sharks losing in the conference final of the playoffs for the second straight year last year. They were schooled by the Vancouver Canucks' speed, skill, and depth. The Sharks seemed, in my opinion, to be short one more scoring defenseman. Dan Boyle, Olympic gold medalist, Stanley Cup champion in his own right, was the only man on the Sharks' blue line who was able to get anything going offensively during last year's chase for the Cup. The Sharks were clearly outmatched by Vancouver's puck-moving D-men, and man, stats do not lie. The Sharks had two defensemen in the top 20 in terms of defensive scoring during the 2011 playoffs, while Vancouver had four players in the top 20. That lack of depth on the blue line definitely kept the Sharks from performing a much-needed Heimlich maneuver and moving on to the Stanley Cup Finals. So what did Sharks GM Doug Wilson do to remedy the situation? He went out there, worked the phones, hustled himself a big, strong scoring D-man named Brent Burns from the Minnesota Wild. In return, the Sharks dealt Devin Setoguchi, San Jose's first-round pick from last year's draft, Charlie Coyle, and the 28th overall selection in this year's draft. Brent Burns, he's got himself a rare combination: size, grit, tenacity, and puck skills. Last year for Minnesota, he scored a career-high 17 goals and had 46 total points. That's 20 more points than any blue liner on Team Teal not named Dan Boyle. Now, getting rid of Setoguchi was definitely a tough decision. He showed some flashes of brilliance last year, and so far throughout his young career has been pretty impressive, but the Sharks have plenty of skilled forwards, and losing Setoguchi will not sink the Sharks' high-powered offense. As far as the draft pick goes, like all draft picks, time will tell. Scouts have been pretty juiced on Charlie Coyle's potential, but potential is one thing. Having a successful career in pro hockey, or any other sport for that matter, totally another. Now, some haters have said, man, the Sharks gave up so much to get Brent Burns. But the reality is, San Jose must make it to at least the Stanley Cup Finals with this core group of players right now. Let's face facts, the window is closing. The fanatical Sharks faithful deserve it, management recognizes it, and they're doing their best to bring a cup to the South Bay. As a fan of Team Teal, I hope that this is the missing piece to the Sharks' playoff struggle puzzle. Some other trade news happened so far this offseason, too, as the Sharks shook things up a little bit by trading Canadian Olympian and All-Star Danny Heatley to the Minnesota Wild in a straight-up swap for Wild forward Marty Havlat. This trade, pretty much a cap saver for the Sharks, as both of these forwards play a similar style of game and had almost identical stats last year. Heatley had 64 points total, while Havlat had 62 for the 2011 campaign. As far as salaries go, the Sharks, they're going to save $2.5 million per year from this trade. That's the big news from Team Teal this summer. Check back for more San Jose Sharks coverage. We will make sure to update you with any significant news that breaks. Remember, the Sharks' home opener is October 8th against the Phoenix Coyotes. For Fear the Beard, I'm Lex Gopnik.